quite familiar using paper instead of computer, now it's something which is a drastic change to you. Are no longer allowed in IELTS writing section. You have to entirely write it but with a black ballpoint pen. So action should be that develop original responses and avoid rote templates. Please do this from the day one of your preparation, just to make yourself familiar and be acquainted with all sorts of questions, not just one, right? From now on going forward, it's going to be 32 minutes only for all. Hello everyone, I Divya Agarwal welcome you all in this beautiful session. So here, if you're planning to take your IELTS in this year 2026, then you must be fully aware of these new changes in IELTS pattern. So let's just quickly get into it, that what are those crucial changes happening very soon in your IELTS pattern. The very first change is that now the paper-based IELTS soon going to get discontinued from the mid 2026. That's something which is a major change, guys. Since so many of you relied on paper, that you are quite familiar using paper instead of computer, now it's something which is a drastic change to you. All tests delivered on computer going forward, and writing on paper option is also going to get introduced, where you will have the option that whether in your writing section you can use paper. Just in that section you can definitely use handwritten writing answers. You can write while taking other sections digitally. All those other sections will happen digitally. So scores remain comparable across formats over here. So yes guys, this is one of the biggest changes we have in the IELTS pattern we must be aware of. Now, since this change is introduced, I would request to all the candidates to start your preparation now on computer rather than on paper. Okay, you must just be typing your answers instead. But still we have this option that we can take the writing section on paper if you're not so comfortable write or typing it on computer. Okay. Other change is that now since February 2025, we had this change back in the 2025 only, which was black ballpoint pen required. Now you cannot actually use pencils. So pencils are no longer allowed in IELTS writing section. You have to entirely write it but with a black ballpoint pen. Okay. So, since this change happened, pencils no longer permitted. Crossed out mistakes with a single line. You have to cross it out like this. You cannot actually erase it. And action should be that practice writing essays with a pen from day one only. You must just be writing it with a pen, not with a pencil. Next to that, another change is now it's going to be stricter enforcement in 2026, which is that all like task response, if you see, score capped at 4 band if flagged. Now what exactly is it? Template and memorized answer are going to be penalized. Okay, so all those students who heavily rely on memorizing answers rather than giving the natural responses, then you guys please stop doing all these mistakes, cause you can get penalized. Because of this thing, your band can just get stuck on band 4. They can easily recognize this fact. So examiners trained to identify memorized responses, they are actually trained onto that. This affects fixed introductions, placeholder structures or copied conclusions. So action should be that develop original responses and avoid rote templates. Please do this from the day one of your preparation. Now, next to that is one skill retake is now globally available. So you can be not stress-free, that you can retake only what you need now. Available globally on computer-based test. Retake one section instead of the full exam. You can just retake one of your sections out of listening, reading, writing and speaking. Next to that, if you choose writing on paper, retake must also be writing on paper only. Saves time. This ultimately is cost effective for the students as well, right? Next to that is we have the next change, video call speaking option, which is something really going to be a game changer, that you can now take your speaking section over at your home and just attend a video call session with the examiner, which is available only in the approved countries right now. Speaking test conducts via secure video call, and same assessment criteria will be applied throughout. It's more flexible, that you have more scheduling options, right? You are not limited to some certain slots. You have more flexibility in terms of timing as well. Now that something is the biggest change we have this year. Next to that, a new question type in listening section. Okay, in listening section, you have diversified questions now. Increased focus on inference based questions, and map based questions are more complex now, and mixed question types appear together. Okay, new accents can also get introduced. This is one of the major changes we have in listening section. Next to that, we have is reading section updates, where you have is that fewer true false not given questions are going to be there, and more matching type questions can be seen. Increased passage complexities can be there. Action should be that you must practice varied question formats, just to make yourself familiar and be acquainted with all sorts of questions, not just one, right? Next is writing section update. So majorly in writing section, greater emphasis going to be there on coherence and cohesion over length. So you must be particularly writing with your ideas being really lucid. Like whatever you are writing should make sense. It should be logical, and using connectors, conjunctions, everything should be there. Okay. Clearer, more accessible language and public descriptors. All assessment criteria now fully public. No confidential version is there, and numerical data must be incorporated effectively in the academic task 1. You must be effectively using your numbers, your figures, everything. Okay. Next, tighter ID verification is going to be there. So please, security enhancements is there. So you must carry your updated ID verification at check-in, and digital testing procedures are also standardized. Follow current guidelines from your test center. Okay, so make sure that you carry your updated passport. All right, so IELTS exam structure is something which has not got changed anyway. Now this is something we have as usual. Listening we have for 30 minutes of audio we have, and 40 questions we have. Reading we have 60 minutes, 40 questions. Writing 60 minutes, 2 tasks we have to perform over here. In speaking, it's going to be for 11 to 40 minutes, 3 parts it contains. Listening, it's going to be 30 plus 10 minutes of additional time for the PBT candidates. But since it's going to be CBT, now we have it again 2 minutes time additional we used to have for CBT. So it's going to be 32 minutes only for all from now. Right? From now on going forward, it's going to be 32 minutes only for all. So yes, new preparation steps should be, the tips should be, 2026 should be that practice on computer now, since you're going to encounter computer-based test only throughout. So start practicing on computer so that you have a habit of delivering your best in the actual exam. You are familiar with all sorts of digital format. Then writing with pen option if you choose. So any paper component, you must start just practicing with a pen over there. Avoid templates. Do not use any templates. Start developing original flexible responses. Then practice new question types, which are inference, matching, complex, for your listening section. Take mock test, improve timing and confidence. Next, stay updated. Check the test center for exact timelines you have. What all timelines you have. So please check with the test center beforehand for the sake. To avoid any confusion, you must be updated with everything. So these are some of the techniques, some of the tips basically you can start incorporating in your daily study routine, which will help you to elevate your performance at the exam day. So yes guys, these were some of the things I had. Biggest change for, I had to just introduce all these biggest changes going to be there in your new IELTS pattern. So thank you so much for watching this video. See you soon. Take care.